Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Danny and today we're going to talk about the NBA buyouts. Now the trade deadline is finished, we will now see and focus who's available for buyouts and which teams did they go. Are we having new contending teams or the strong teams still got stronger? Let's have a look. Okay, so according to this website that I went through, which is DKNation.DraftKings.com, so they have provided me a list of big time names that has been bought out. So we'll have to go through here and see where we go. So I think most of you already know as well, especially those who have been following the NBA. We got Blake Griffin, who has been bought or been claimed by, or who signed with the Brooklyn Nets after being waived by the Detroit Pistons. It's interesting here for Blake Griffin because he's still having one more year for his contract. Normally with buyouts, it's just on the last part of his deal, or if he has been sent into or traded into a young team that would like to give more playing time for his young players. So with Blake Griffin, obviously Detroit's on the rebuilding mode and he would like to play a contending team. So it's just like an agreement between two sides to stash some money from the players' part for him to become a free agent. And in that sense, Blake Griffin agreed to some amount. I just don't know exactly how much is the amount, but that should be significant for him to be a free agent. Okay, and yeah, that's how it goes. He's now on the Brooklyn side, and aside from him, there is another big time player, an inside presence player who just signed yesterday, and that is LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, for LaMarcus Aldridge, he parted ways with the San Antonio Spurs, and he's on his final contract year. I think he's got $24 million. So for this year, a fraction of it has been given back to San Antonio, and that resulted for him to be a free agent. And yeah, in that sense, it made Brooklyn Nets very much balanced in terms of its positions. They got now an inside presence. They got those three-headed monster on the perimeter. One which makes the plays as a point guard, and that's James Harden. We have a slashing two guard. Maybe the closest thing to Kobe at this point, which is Kyrie Irving, and obviously the second best player in the world right now is Kevin Durant, barring injuries. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, buyouts made Brooklyn a deeper and stronger team, but let's have a look on the other teams as well. And yep, as I go through, scroll through our website here, and the latest one for today is Andre Drummond finally going to a team that needed help inside, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers. As of the moment, yes, the Lakers fans are happy, but more of a sigh of relief because they needed an inside presence. Obviously, Anthony Davis is recuperating from his calf injury, and LeBron James is sitting out because of a high ankle sprain. So these two are the main guns of the people or the team of Purple and Gold. And without these two, they're losing a fairly bit of, or a big punch of their scoring, rebounding, assist, and playmaking, because these two can make points by their own, but LeBron can make brilliant passes, one of the greatest to ever play the game. And right now, it's just Montrezl Harrell, one of the Morris twins, and just gang rebounding with Kyle Kuzma, KCP, and Dennis Schroeder, and it's not making it. So having Andre Drummond, who is a career 18 to 19 points per game and 13 rebounds per game, that will elevate their inside, and this opens up more opportunities as well for their shooters to be more confident in taking shots. And with this, it may help them on getting some wins while LeBron and AD are trying to get themselves back into shape, and hopefully everyone's ready by playoff time. So this is a big pickup for the Lakers, especially right now. So I hope that the chemistry will be there in a quick span of time, and who knows, Lakers might be back in contention. Again, if LeBron and AD were just really healthy, 100% each, they would still be the team to beat from the West. But right now, they have even the threat to be in the play-in tournament. So having Andre Drummond is really big for them. Okay, and yeah, so other big names that I have here for today, well, not really big names, they're not really as star-studded as the first two that I mentioned, or first three that I mentioned, but we got Austin Rivers, who is now a Bucks as a primary suitor for him. So with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, PJ Tucker, I think they need another scorer who has playoff experience. So that means Austin Rivers is someone who's been there, who can make plays, who can make shots. So this will be big for Giannis. He can focus more on the inside. He doesn't have to force himself. He can make passes. He's got another option. And they're a bit more deep. They're a bit more deep as a team, especially on that bench. So if it gets confirmed that he will sign, Austin Rivers will sign with the Bucks, then that's good news for them. How much would that be? It's about negotiation, right? But more likely he will go there if willingly to win a ring. Okay. Next is Gorgui Dieng from the Memphis Grizzlies, who has been bought out, and he is now possibly heading into San Antonio Spurs. Well, as far as I know with Gorgui Dieng, I don't think he's been expected to really clamp on statistics-wise on the court, but I think he has been helping the young guns of Memphis Grizzlies in the locker room. So the main reason why Spurs might be interested in him is just to give a good positive vibe, especially that LaMarcus is now gone. So sparing minutes for inside presence, defense, and a little bit of points, but morally giving a good vibe in the locker room for these young players of the San Antonio Spurs. And lastly is Jeff Teague. So Jeff Teague initially signed a deal with the Boston Celtics and was traded away to the Orlando Magic for Evan Fournier. And I am not so sure if he was being bought out, but in the event he would be, then that would be a big plus for any team who's interested. I don't see yet anyone here who have possibly been interested in him, but as long as he keeps himself in shape, then he will get possible call-ups to be in a contending team. We don't know. One thing with Jeff Teague is that he's a scorer. He knows his role. He may have diminished his defense, but he has playoff experience. Long time with Atlanta Hawks, and as well as a little bit of time with Indiana Pacers. So this kid can play. Okay, and yeah, I don't see any other names in here. That's it. So those are the big names with buyout. So how does this affect the whole league? Not really much. I mean, for the Lakers side, with Andre Drummond, it buys them time, at least to get some 3, 4, 5 wins until LeBron and AD is back, and at least keep them in the top 4 seed. Get that home court advantage in the sense that there would be any such case this playoff season. For the Brooklyn Nets, again, they are title favorites, I believe, at this point. LaMarcus and Blake just brings a different dimension of offense for the Nets. They do have inside points coming from, I think, was that Claxton, the young player, and DeAndre, but most of them are from passes of Harden for a long pass. So if those things are stopped during playoff time, then they can go to Blake Griffin and LaMarcus for post-up moves and jumpers, because LaMarcus and Blake has learned themselves to stretch the floor. So that's what I'm saying. They give different dimensions of the inside post-up moves for the Brooklyn Nets. So it's interesting to see how will they gel themselves. It may take time, but we'll see. We'll see how they do develop their chemistry and create havoc for the rest of the league. Okay. Now, for those teams that didn't acquire these players, like Miami Heat, I know that they were wanting LaMarcus Aldridge. New York Knicks, who had an unfortunate event with Mitchell Robinson, who suffered a broken foot or a fractured foot, I believe. So they need a solid center. Right now, they're just depending on Taj Gibson, Nerlens Noel, and the coaching of Tom Thibs to make it as effective as possible. So we don't know. That's a big what if for them. If they have snagged Andre Drummond, they could have a good replacement. If not, an upgrade for Mitchell Robinson, who's nursing now an injury or is done for the season. At the same time, Celtics personally believe would wanted LaMarcus Aldridge, so was the Heat, because he gives good inside presence. But then again, both these teams didn't get him, and instead Brooklyn had him. I don't know what's with Brooklyn having able to really get good veterans out of them cheap, but I think it's because of Harden, because of the way he sacrificed himself and make things work around, despite of all the initial criticisms that three of them, KD, Kyrie, and Harden, would just beat themselves out trying to get the ball, who's going to take the shots. But he hasn't been a big issue for this team for this season. They know who's to share, they know their roles, and they've been giving chances for everyone to score. So I think this has made free agent stars to really consider the Brooklyn Nets, because they felt that they can still thrive despite all the other scorers on this team at present. So that was just my take. I could be wrong. How about you guys? How do you see all these buyouts? What are the effects? Let me know. Put on the comments. Let's have some fun, and let's keep monitoring the league and how does this unfold. And yep, thank you for watching, and you have a good day.